Now, welcome.
Just looking at that and saying, who knew? Who knew?
I know.
That picture's like...
So cute.
I know.
Well, the reason you're here, I mean, we have lots of people on to discuss their books.
Yeah.
Few of them are as big as this, and so I've actually left it in just so that you can see the whole spectacle of the thing.
This is
I've left it in its
beautiful.
box. Look at this. So, first of all, the front, it's like the Times Atlas of the world, this thing. It's beautiful.
Kings.
But it was made in Italy as well, so you know they don't mess around in Italy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
When it comes to quality.
And style.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
For a guy who's been photographed so much, and there would have, I assume there would have been a great many photographs taken that you didn't know were being taken.
And there's quite a few in there that I'd never seen before, which is quite amazing. You know, things I think, oh my God, I've never seen that. You know, quite amusing.
For anyone, actually, I mean, it's so beautiful because it's not just photographs as well, but there's a lot of your personal photographs, unseen photographs, memories, letters, beautiful pieces of your life, really.
There was a lot of things I left out because I sort of thought about it. I thought, no, that doesn't need to go in there. No.
Yeah. Well, the quality is incredible. I mean, this is such beautiful paper, and there's a reason for that, because these are about 500 quid each.
$4.99. It sounds better.
There are only... it's a limited edition.
$9.99, yeah.
So all signed.
All signed, yeah.
Which I would expect.
It was fun. I actually remember how much they were, those. When I was doing it, I was like, they're very expensive. Just shut up.
Yeah.
So let's look at some of the photos which we've blown up here and those moments. So tell me about your family.
Well, that's me and my mum, and that was taken by my dad. That photograph. My dad was a bit of a keen photographer, so he used to take photos all the time. And that's in my grandma's house in Woolwich. And I love that picture.
Your parents were Irish, weren't they?
Irish. Yeah, my mum's from Dublin, and my dad is from Tipperary.
And you think that's where you kind of got your character from?
I think the sense of humour, yeah. I think there is a kind of Irish sense of humour, I think. You know, we've got that ability to kind of laugh at ourselves, which I think is handy in some situations. Yeah.
What did they think of you when you became this one?
I think my family were quite relieved when I started the band, because up until I started the band, I was really not doing very much, but just going out to clubs and partying. And I was in magazines. There was pictures of me in magazines, and my parents were like, what do you do? And I was like, just have a new hairdo and get photographed. So they, do you know what I mean? It was like, what are you going to do with your life?
So the band made sense.
So when I did the band, they were like, OK, they could tell people, well, he's in a band.
Yeah.
Because up until then, it was like, well, he sort of does a bit of this and that, and, you know.
And this photo here, was this your first performance?
First live gig in a place called Crocs in Rayleigh, and I remember Depeche Mode came, and they just had a big #1 with Just Can't Get Enough. Yeah. So, you know, it was a real moment for us, the fact that there was bona fide pop stars at a gig. Yeah. It was like, we've made it.
But you were really very self-conscious, because you spent most of the gig singing with your back to the audience. So why would you put yourself through that if you were so self-conscious?
I think it's just, you know, my first ever gig was with Bow Wow Wow, which was at the Rainbow, and I did one song. So I got a taste for it doing that. But doing a whole gig, you know, I had to learn to sort of, you know... I would say that I've only really now, in my later life, kind of got comfortable with live. I love doing live shows, but it takes years. You know, I think it's taken me almost 30 years to kind of get to, I love doing this. Because I think I was always insecure before. I think you grow into it, and I think nowadays, like, live is really the only tangible thing left, so it's really enjoyable.
But you'd think, sort of, by your image and, you know, your dress and your style, you'd think, actually, that confidence wouldn't be a problem for you. I mean, is that part of the style? Is it part of a,
Well, I think I'm confident in some areas, but, yeah, I mean, this is, you know, I suppose the kind of makeup and the costumes, you know, it's a weird sort of conundrum, because on the one hand, they attract more attention, and on the other hand, they sort of hide stuff. Yeah. So it's kind of a double-edged sword in a way, do you know what I mean?
Well, this is... And it is... Launches can happen in the most incredible ways when people start to notice you. Yeah. This was, at the time, you thought, what the hell is Stevie Wonder doing here? Why is he doing this? But it was a stroke of genius.
Well, I walked through a crowd. I'd gone to do this thing at the Apollo Theatre in Harlem, which was 25 years of Motown, so everyone was there. So I got to meet all these amazing people. And I sang with Stevie Wonder, and as I was coming through the party, he jumped up and put his hands around my throat, and I was fuming. Oh, my God, I felt so embarrassed. And, you know, 10 years, 20 years on, I look at the picture and go, oh, my God, it's a genius picture. What a moment.
Amazing,
well, it got you noticed.
Yeah,
Who is this guy?
Yeah, no, but I think the thing about pictures is that, you know, especially pictures that aren't digital, those kind of what I call analogue pictures.
Yeah.
When you look back at pictures taken in the 70s or the 60s or the 80s, they have a kind of feel.
Yeah.
And you can really tell what decade they're from as well.
I love this woman's face here because
me
she's
too.
so cross because you're pointing in the wrong direction. She knows she hasn't got the shot.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, the other thing that's very exciting as well is 2013 is going to be a very big year, isn't it?
12.
2012.
You're racing ahead.
Oh, no, sorry. I thought it was 2030 because I thought it was 30 years from the...
No,
so
12 is 30 years next year from the first single.
Right.
Our first hit was a year later,
Okay.
but we started officially in 82.
But you are rehearsing at the moment, aren't
Yeah,
you?
they're rehersing. I'll be in later in the week. They've got to learn their bits,
bit.
you know.
So
Don't want me dramatising and getting in the way.
The band, the relationships within the band were famous, infamous. So how are you all now? You are back together.
Well,
again?
the thing about Culture Club is we never really fell out. We never. It was all more personality things. It was never financial because they're the worst fallouts. When people fall out financially, that's sort of hard to come back from. But we never had any of that stuff. It was all just personality, childish stuff.
So now you're all back. When you get back into the studio, do you look back at those days and think, what the hell were we writing about?
I think what's funny about bands is it's a bit like being in a dysfunctional family and people don't change.
Right.
What happens is you sort of change the way you react to people. And I think, you know, that's about being grown up, isn't it? You know, like, that annoys me, but I'm just going to take a walk.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick on you. I'm not going to sort of tell you that annoys me. You just have to learn to be tolerant.
But have you changed the sort of your sound sort of with the new stuff and the new album, the new writing? Now that you sort of grown up a bit?
It sounds like us. It really does sound like us. But yeah, I think slightly more grown up. But it does definitely. After the first writing session, I was like, we really sound like us.
Yeah.
which is as well.
Which is great.
And you're doing the Sydney New Year's Eve party, aren't you?
We're doing, with the Pet Shop Boys and Jamiroquai. I mean, we're not officially supposed to tour till next year, but we got this offer for Australia. We're like, Sydney Harbour, New Year's Eve.
Yes, please.
Got to do it.
And your personal stuff's happening as well, because you've got Turn to Dust is your new single. That's out as well.
Yeah, that's out yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's out now.
It's lovely to see you.
Busy.
You're in a good place now.
Yeah,
aren't you?
great. Really happy. Really loving what I'm doing. Just got the Wanted autograph from my niece.
Perfect.
Allegedly.
Thank you, George. That's absolutely stunning. It's a beautiful book,
Thanks a lot.
and thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Have a nice
Thank
Christmas.
you.
Thank you,
Thank
and
you.
you,
You too.
and you as
All right,
well.
Fashion Christmas special in just a moment. But first, if you're struggling